White Hat versus Black Hat SEO. My name is Sam, and this is part of our SEO for Beginners series, where we are giving an overview of SEO for someone who is brand new to the world and want to hit on some key terminology and tactics and strategies that would come up. And one of those is White Hat versus Black Hat. So in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between White Hat and Black Hat SEO and what people typically mean when they are talking about that. We'll look at some of the risks associated with Black Hat SEO, and then we'll look at why generally sticking to White Hat strategies is usually going to be better for long-term success. So first, what is White Hat SEO? So White Hat SEO would be doing SEO the right way according to search engines, basically. Key features to it would be you're looking at providing value to users. You're going to be compliant with webmaster guidelines, like Google would have theirs, Bing would have theirs, but search engines have, hey, here's the right way to do things. And so staying within that would be White Hat. And then it typically would build a lasting reputation. You're going to be better off from a brand perspective, typically doing it that way. Common practices would be high quality, relevant content, properly using on-page elements, keywords, meta descriptions, titles, and then doing link building in a, we'll say, manual way, ethical way. That's probably the area that gets crossed over the most, I would guess, in today's day and age. What is Black Hat SEO? So Black Hat SEO would be if you're trying to use manipulative techniques designed to trick or game search engine algorithms. Basically, it's Google saying, hey, do it this way. And then Black Hat would be, well, if I do this, even though it's not quite the way you'd want it to be, it's gonna help me. That would be Black Hat. Is it illegal? In most cases, no, it's not illegal. It just isn't the way that search engines would want you to do it. And so there are things to be aware of. So one, key features, you're violating search engine rules. You're focusing on tricking the search engine as opposed to focusing on creating good content for users. Some common practices, and there are lots of them, but like keyword stuffing, cloaking, link farm, and paid links. That's going to be keyword stuffing would be where you're forcing in your keywords into content. Cloaking would be where you're trying to give search engines one version of a site where users see another version. Link farms and paid links would be people setting up PBNs, private blog networks, to where they're fake websites that the only purpose is to send links back to other websites, or if you're paying for links. Again, that last one is going to be where you see fairly commonly used on some version, and paying for links, that is. But those would all be ways that the search engines don't want you to do it, and then you're trying to manipulate the algorithms to your benefit. So why wouldn't you, or what are risks of using Black Hat SEO? If you're going against what search engines say, you could get penalized by the search engines. That's what your biggest risk is. Like, hey, if you get caught doing this, you could get removed from search engine indexes, so you can't rank at all anymore, which is going to lead to a loss of traffic and visibility. If you do it enough times, you're going to ruin the authority of your domain, and so that gets the longer term risks where it could damage your brand. It could have a hard time rebuilding search engine trust on that domain. You're going to have to spend time fixing penalties that came up because of this. I don't have a slide for this, but like benefits of Black Hat SEO would be if you are doing it and it's working, it's going to get your site to the top. And so generally it might be a shorter term gain where in the long end you could lose. But I also know plenty of people who have gotten the short term gain, and there's been long term gain. And so I'm not advocating for Black Hat SEO, but again, it's not something that's illegal in most cases. The only case that I can think of off the top of my head where it would be illegal, if you're intentionally misleading people, you could see this a lot with like reviews. So getting like fake reviews on products, like the US just passed a law where that is, you can be penalized legally for that. And so those things I think for sure stay away from. If it's just you versus Google, it's a little bit of a game that you're engaging in. And again, Google controls a large part of the search market. So if you get on their bad side, that's not good for you. But there are people that do it and do very well doing that. So just notes on that. Benefits of White Hat SEO. So why would you want to do it the way that search engines would want you to do it? Focusing on the user experience, I think this is just best practice. Like if you want to have a good experience for people, and so that's going to usually in the end work out well for you. You're going to be building longer term authority and organic visibility. So if like you do it the right way and it builds over time, usually that's going to stay. You're at less of a risk of being penalized for that. Now, where people would argue against that would be Google has tons of algorithm updates, and there are lots of sites that have done it the right way that still end up getting not penalized, but they end up losing traffic because an algorithm update changed how their site was performing. And so then, there's a valid argument for, well, hey, I did it the right way and I still got penalized, so I'm just going to start doing it, the Black Hat way, because like if Google's going to penalize me, then why do I care about following what Google has to say? And that's a game, and there's a risk evaluation that each site owner will need to take. And then, also like avoiding penalties, like if you're doing this a lot, then you could get penalized and get, get de-indexed, or your rankings could be affected, and then you have to go and fix that. So you get to avoid doing that. Moving on here. So some key takeaways, and we're wrapping it up. In general, and this is probably for a lot of things in life, but like shortcuts typically don't last. So black hat tactics can yield quicker results, but sooner or later, Google's typically going to pick up on it, and then you could get penalized on it. A bigger overall thing too is you want to focus on value. Like ideally, if you're building a website and content, it should be adding to the internet and to our world and to be giving value. If you're only doing it to try to trick or manipulate things, you might be missing out on some of the purpose of what you could be doing. And then the last thing is staying educated. Search engine guidelines change, SEO trends change, best practices can change, and so being mindful of what's working, what's not working. Even what worked a decade ago isn't going to be the same stuff that works today, and so staying up to date on that is going to be helpful for you. All right, that's the last section here. We'll, I'm sure, have more videos on White Hat and Black Hat SEO. It's an interesting topic, but for right now, again, that was just to give an overview of what people mean when they're talking about that. So if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, please stay tuned for more in our SEO for Beginners series, and then you can find the whole series at sambretzman.com. Thank you for watching.